Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And that's why we're honored to have with us Jonathan Torres, affectionately known as Torres. He is the CEO of Frase Protection. He's a change maker with a cool backstory as well. But Torres, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful. It's great to be here.
Well, you've got a cool story, as I alluded to, working to lift nonprofits in our city in big ways. Let's start there, and then we'll work our way through to Frase Protection. But give us a little bit of your backstory.
Sure. So I actually started in the nonprofit world over 20 years ago, working in Kingsbury neighborhood in Berkeley, working with an organization called Young Life. Was there for about 10 years before moving over to Memphis Athletic Ministries. Started as the director of development, then eventually moved over to COO and took over as CEO. And was involved in various things across the city. Obviously, MAM impacts thousands of kids across the city in different neighborhoods. And so we love Memphis very dearly. I've fallen in love with every inch of the city of Memphis. And now I've transitioned from Memphis Athletic Ministries to Frase Protection. I got to meet the owner of Frase Protection, Jonathan Torres, a while ago. We've built a great relationship, great friendship over the last few years, and there was an opportunity for him to continue to develop another business that he has, Archive Property Defense, and for me to step into the role locally and focus on what he was doing here at Frase Protection. So took a long time of us having lots of communication together, and this was a really great fit for me, my family, and for Jonathan Torres.
Yeah, and we'll dive in deep on that front for sure. But I want to back up. When you look at your growth and development over the years in the nonprofit side, many people kind of get tripped up and think, well, nonprofit's not business, but yet it really is. It's just a matter of like taxes, right? Like, and so you, to be able to be impactful as a nonprofit, you have to run it as a business. You have to be able to be sustainable and have the leadership. And so when you talk about your development between faith, nonprofit, community, talk about how that developed you and equipped you to step into this role now as CEO.
Absolutely. So that's actually one of the things that was impactful in my journey as the CEO for Memphis Athletic Ministries. Was I knew I didn't want to run a nonprofit the way that nonprofits are stereotypically viewed as, that they are just kind of wandering. They just kind of spend money as they get it, that they don't have real systems, structures, metrics, things that they're looking at, KPIs, objectives, all the things that we want to build in a healthy business. I was trying to do that in our work in Memphis Athletic Ministries. So what's interesting is I was essentially trying to run MAM as a nonprofit that ran like a business. And now I have the joy of being able to kind of flip that and go, I want to run a business with the heart of a nonprofit. And so it's a really beautiful time for me to be able to kind of shift in that. But that's always been the goal, is we want to be efficient in all we do. I think, again, as you mentioned, I come from a faith background. That is what really lifts and guides me. And so in my faith, I want to be a good steward of the things that I've been given and I've been entrusted. So whether that's the people, the organization, donors, or customers, we want to be a good steward of what we've been given. And this is my opportunity to do that every single day, is to be an excellent steward of the things that I've been entrusted with.
Yeah, good stuff. Absolutely. Well, let's dive in deep on Frase Protection. So I know it's the residential side, you've got the commercial side. How do you describe what you do at Frase Protection?
Sure. Essentially, we do the security, cameras, and access control for both homes and businesses. We recognize that Memphis has some negative stereotypes, negative stigmas, and the reality is that our mission as a company is to make Memphis a safer place to live, work, and play. And so we do that through providing the peace of mind that people really are looking for when they have these systems in place. And so we're partnering with homeowners, with business owners, to be able to make sure that they have that peace of mind.
Talk about technology, because I know technology continues to evolve. And so when you look at
Always.
everything from the cameras now on your doorbell to inside and outside, there's a lot of technology. So talk about tech.
Sure. Technology is evolving so quickly. Whether it is the quality of cameras to the way that the entire house integrates. For example, in your alarm system, you can integrate both lights and thermostats and locks, and there's so much that will make you have an integrated home, a fully integrated home or business. And the technology is evolving on that side. Cameras are quickly evolving as well, whether that's the quality of picture or the analytics that can be done through AI. So being able to, for example, a business is able to take the cameras that they're using and use it to be able to tell where are the hot spots inside of their business of people's walking in traffic, or how many people are waiting in a line and how long are they waiting in a line, and what's the speed in which we're able to serve in our retail spaces, or what are some of the things that we're looking for as choke points in the way that our warehouse is moving more efficiently. So they can use cameras now with AI integrated into it that helps them run their business efficiently. And so those are all the things that we're really looking at on the technology side of it. And for us at Frase Protection, we're doing all of that on a top tier service. We recognize that we are not going to be competing with someone who's just throwing in alarms as some of our larger competitors can and will. We're here for service, and we're here to make sure that people understand how to use their systems well, and that we're being as efficient as possible and giving them the quality that they deserve.
Yeah, talk about some of the questions. So when you're sitting down with a homeowner or a business owner and you're saying, okay, let's go through and figure out what you need, and let's make this happen and make it work to the best of your benefit. What are the questions? What are the things you're looking at to make sure that you are customizing it and giving them those tools that they need?
It is so unique for every single individual, because there's just different access points. Every house is constructed slightly different. Each person has different needs. For example, things that people may not think about are something as simple as, are all the bedrooms located on the bottom floor, or are they maybe on a second floor? And so just having that very simple difference of having bedrooms downstairs or upstairs can actually change the way a person desires to set up their home system. Same thing with if they're wanting to automate door locks, or automate the garage, or care about the sensors in their homes, which ones they feel more comfortable with. And then lastly, price is always just an issue that we're wanting to make sure that we're doing it in the most cost-effective way for some families. And then some people are more inclined to just spend what's necessary to make sure they have every single thing covered. And so we try to tailor it for each individual so that they have the best experience with us.
Talk about geographical focus, talk about your team. So talk about those two aspects.
Sure. Geographically, we're located all over the city of Memphis and the surrounding areas. We do also serve Mississippi. We're not licensed in Arkansas, but we are in South Haven and Horn Lake and some of those areas. So we serve about an hour drive in any direction in Tennessee and Mississippi. Our people are awesome. They come from all over the city. We have long-standing employees here at Frase Protection. We just currently had one of our longest employees retire after 40 years being a technician here at Frase Protection. If I tell you, Doug was one of the most loved technicians. People called in just to have Doug work on their system. And so that's the type of culture that already established here when I walked into this role. And then we have folks that have also been here for currently 17 years, 8 years, 10 years. We have a very strong culture here. And I'm so honored that I get to be able to just step in and kind of lead the charge on what's already a very solid foundation.
Talk about some of the other things that make Frase Protection different. So when you look at your team, your customer service. Talk about some of the other things that really make it different.
Sure. When we're looking at the market as a whole, the security market, it's extremely fragmented, and the reality is uh, almost anybody that wants to get into this business has access to the very similar technology that we have access to. So when people try and tell you that they have something state of the art and it's absolute, no one else has this technology, they're probably selling you something that's a little fishy. Because the reality is we all have very similar access to technology. There's not huge state of the art differences. However, one of the things that we've developed is just a culture of service. We are top tier. Again, we're coming in and we're making sure that someone's taken care of at the highest of levels. We've been around for 50 years, so we know this market. We know what we're doing, and it's a household name now in Frase Protection. And I think what really sets us apart, and really where we hope to go even deeper over the next few months and next few years, is our core value of community. We really want to make sure that we're highlighting that we're here to provide the peace of mind to residents and businesses in Memphis, and we're going to find ways to invest in our city to get engaged to prevent crime before it ever really happens. And so what that looks like is making sure that our company is getting involved and engaged with the nonprofits, the programs, and the things that are happening in the city, so that we can make crime a less viable option for those communities, and specifically targeting two areas. One is making sure that we're fighting against poverty. We recognize poverty is the number one reason that crime even becomes a choice, and so we want to make sure that we are being strategic in the way that we impact poverty. And the second is education, making sure that we're giving educational opportunities and being a part of giving educational opportunities to every Memphian possible. So with those two things in mind, I think that's what really makes us stand out from any competitor here in the city of Memphis, because we're truly invested in preventing crime before it ever even becomes a problem.
Yeah, and I think that local investment, back into the community engagement, obviously that's your passion, that's your heart. And so
Absolutely.
It's a perfect marriage and blend, when you talk about the corporate side, to be able to open up and really be heavily involved in making a difference in the community. One more thing, and then I want to switch over and talk even more about the philanthropic efforts, but talk about the monitoring, because when you think about it, you're in the trust business and you want to trust that when something happens, that the cameras are working and that the monitoring is there. So touch on kind of that aspect too for your team, and then we'll switch back over into the philanthropic focus.
Sure. So the monitoring actually happens outside of the city of Memphis. We use a third-party vendor, and the reality is it's actually it's actually a lot safer and a lot better for us to be using an outside monitoring center, mainly so that if anything were to happen in the city itself, that it's not directly impacted. And there's even redundancies with the monitoring center that they're both in California and Texas, so there's a backup to the backup. So the reality is we want to make sure that we're building that trust for our customers, and that we've established everything we need to do. There are even some other layers that we're currently working on, that I've got some efforts to be able to work closer with our Metro Alarm Department and our police department here in the city of Memphis. We've got this avenue called visual verification. Where if your alarm were to go off and you have cameras in your home, that our monitoring center can actually view the last few minutes of the activity in that home on cameras, and then notify police if there is actually a visual verification of someone on site. With that, what our hope is when working with the police department, that it'll escalate those events to the police department. With so many false alarms that happen across the industry, if we can minimize the false alarm, we can then actually help our police be more efficient and save resources. And I think all of us are for that right now, is to be more efficient and save resources for our police. And so we're working hard with them to be able to implement that, so that we can make sure that we're serving, again, our customers more efficiently and more effectively.
Yeah, and you can also be preparing the police officers for what they're about to encounter too, which I think that's another piece of this, which is cool. Let's switch over and talk about the philanthropy then, even more. Give us, when you look at the ability for Frase Protection to make a big difference, which you've seen firsthand, based on your background in terms of the importance of corporate resources pouring in, corporate volunteers coming out and getting involved. Talk about kind of what puts a smile on your face when you look at your ability to really create powerful change using this vehicle, this corporate vehicle of Frase Protection.
Absolutely. So again, we want to be in the business of being proactive and not reactive. And so I'm excited to again be a part of being proactive in searching for better ways to make sure that we're serving every Memphian. That it can be a collaboration with organizations that are intentionally working with our younger audiences, working with our youth in Memphis, because we recognize that they are the future of our city, they're the future of our communities, and so we have to find ways to intentionally target and work with those youth to give them every opportunity, to give them the mentorships. And I think my experience has shown over my years in the nonprofit world that yes, corporate dollars are extremely needed and helpful. They are there. And it's extremely beneficial. But the true magic, honestly, has always been getting people engaged. And so what we're doing is we're working as a team internally to start to find those areas that our team can truly get engaged, not just be able to, unfortunately, what can sometimes seem as throwing money at an issue, but we actually want to get involved and go serve, have our staff be able to go to the places, to the neighborhoods, to the kids, to the teachers, and to those that need it the most, and mentor, get involved, get engaged, and not simply do it from a place of donations, but of actual time. Time is the one thing I cannot make more of. All of us can go make more money in some form or fashion. We can figure it out, but we can't make more time. And so when you do invest your time, whether that's through volunteering and mentoring, it is a resource that is so valuable, but it pays such dividends, and we know that.
This is one of those conversations could go on forever, but let's go ahead and wrap up. Where can everyone go and learn more about Frase Protection? So website, social media, phone number, where would you direct us to go?
Sure. The best place is always our website at phraseprotection.com, FRASE protection.com. And our number is 901-755-1800.
Well, Torres, thank you for all you and your amazing team do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.